Let's talk about Emergency. Nope, not that one, the one on Amazon Prime. There's a show? Okay, not that one either, the movie on Amazon. No. Come on, Paranormal Emergency? How many movies can there be on Amazon with the word emergency in it? Come on, what else you got? Oh my god, Jesus, no, not that one, yes, that one, stay there, please. Oh my god, Amazon, you dirty dog. Emergency was just released on Amazon Prime. Let's get right into it with The Good. Alright, so this is primarily a comedy movie, so I feel like we should start with the humor in this. You know those movies that aren't afraid to make you a little bit uncomfortable with the comedy that they use? Yeah, this one does that in the first 5 minutes. It sets the bar, lets you know exactly what to expect, and provides that throughout the whole movie. Unlike another movie that didn't quite land the jokes it was trying to make, Senior Year on Netflix, starring Rebel Wilson. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a cough today. This film had me laughing out loud the entire way through, whether they were using that awkward humor, dark humor, or just showed our characters bickering over stupid shit. This movie had me laughing at almost any joke or stupid situation that our leads got themselves into. This is probably the funniest movie I've seen so far this year, actually, so high stakes. But speaking of our lead characters, this movie felt like a Superbad 2.0 for me. The characters in this had similar personalities and connections, sort of like the characters in Superbad had. That rhymed.
You have a great gift for rhyme.
You have the confident character similar to Jonah Hill, who seems to only care about getting to the party. You have the more dorky character similar to Michael Cera that wants to party as well, but also really cares about doing the right thing. And then you have the guy who is just an out-of-pocket, dorky, socially awkward kind of person, like McLovin, that just wants to fit in. The contrast between these three friends make for some hilarious moments. They bicker and disagree constantly, but when it comes down to it, there is so much love between them. While this has obviously been done before, I really don't think it hurts this movie that much. While it was definitely using ideas from movies like Superbad, the writers, director, and actors behind this did a great job of still finding a way to make these characters stand out in their own right. I really found myself rooting for our main three guys in this from the get-go. Sure, they each have their own quirks and flaws, but they felt real, which is so important in a movie like this. I also think that the supporting characters in this did a great job of moving the story forward and also had some hilarious moments themselves. Overall, fantastic characterization throughout this entire movie. And obviously, to have good characters, you have to have good actors as well, and honestly, this cast knocked it out of the park. Like I said before, the characters in this just felt so real, and a large part of that is the incredible performances given all around the board. I really can't think of one instance in this movie where I thought the acting let me down. Hey Hollywood, if you haven't casted these folks in any other movies yet, I would get on it because I don't think you'll regret it. As goofy as this movie is, it also has a very serious, emotional undertone throughout. From the very beginning, Sean and Kunle are discussing racism and how it's affected them through their lives. Throughout the runtime of this, basically every decision they make has to do with how people will view three men of color in this context. While they really want to help this girl, they don't know how to given their current circumstances. This movie hits really hard on racism, and I think it's executed brilliantly. Sean grew up in the hood and experienced racism firsthand his entire life, whereas Kunle grew up with doctors for parents and was not strongly impacted by racism, but learns just how real it is on this journey. I think they hit all the right notes here and made something really impactful. While I, a white man, will never fully understand how racism feels, I think that this movie does a really good job of just giving you a hint of the fear that you could feel in a situation like this. Fantastic writing and directing on this front. The last thing I want to include in The Good is that the cinematography in this is gorgeous. A large part of what made the distinction between comedy and seriousness in this movie was the cinematography. At points, the camera makes you feel loneliness, claustrophobia, and fear, yet moments before that, the camera work made you feel cool and vibey. I don't think that's an actual word, but it is now. And if you think this video is vibey, then you should go ahead and like and subscribe down below. Thanks, dude. With that though, let's move on to the mixed. Oh, first Olivia Rodrigo takes a dump on her, and now me. I'm just gonna say it, Sabrina Carpenter's character in this, along with her sister, are hella annoying. Now, I'm not saying that they did a bad job acting, because they didn't. They did a fantastic job acting. However, I think that these characters are supposed to be annoying, and wow, they did a good job. While they each definitely had some hilarious moments, they're just the typical teenage white girls that love to party, and it's just a lot to handle. I genuinely have no idea how somebody can be friends with Maddie in this movie, but I'm glad that she does have her friend, because I like her character a lot better than Sabrina Carpenter's character. I'm just saying, okay? Please don't kill me, Sabrina stans. It wasn't her acting, I promise. Also in my mix books category, and I touched on it a little bit before, but this style of movie has been done a lot before. While this is definitely not a carbon copy by any means, this does have a lot of similarities to Superbad, Booksmart, Mean Girls, you name it, we got it. This isn't in my bad category because I really do think that this movie stands out on its own in a lot of ways, but it is something to be aware of and something I think they probably could have steered a little bit more away from to set themselves further apart. However, with that, we're on to the bad. And dude, so much of what happened in this movie should not have happened at all. Literally, coincidence after coincidence keeps happening, leading to dumber and dumber decisions. For instance, the whole reason this drunk girl was able to pass out at these guys' house is because Carlos just happens to leave the front door cracked open sometimes. What? I have never heard of anyone who does that, and if you know of someone who does, or maybe you're that person, please let us know down in the comments below, because I have so many questions. I don't know, there's just parts to this story that are so unbelievable. I get that we had to get from point A to point B to give this movie some sort of plot and conflict, but man, does it take you for a ride. The only thing that excuses this slightly is that 90% of the characters in this are either drunk, high, or both. Thus, dumb decisions and paranoia are somewhat understandable. But that doesn't keep it off my bad list because I was thinking about it throughout the entire movie. But anyway, let's move on to my final thoughts. Okay, I gave this movie a bit of shit for being a little bit like other movies, but when it comes down to it, I love Superbad, so why wouldn't I love Superbad 2.0? If you're looking to chill out, have a good laugh, and maybe even a tear or two, then this is a fantastic movie to watch. I genuinely had a great time with this film, and for that, Emergency is going to get a vibey 9 out of 10. Stop thinking about it, just go and watch this movie. It's 100% worth it. It's a great watch. If you made it this far though, please consider liking and subscribing down below, as I'm going to be reviewing all the movies and TV shows on all the streaming platforms that you can imagine. That's all for this time, so I'll catch you in the next one.